campaign that I'm sure you have seen on Facebook, around town on signs, on local news stations, and on the t-shirts that so many of us are wearing this evening. We Are Enough is the slogan we created to encompass the belief that we all share, that our students, our teachers, our school, and our community are enough to deserve to be fully funded from New York State. It's about what those numbers mean, our classes, our teachers, and even some of the programs that we love. This rally is our chance to stand up, to show that we are paying attention, and that we are not okay with decisions being made that could take away opportunities from our current and future students.
I don't quite know how I got this, probably because they know that I do things like this and I just don't say no. So here I am, ta-da! I am over the moon, happy to see all of you here to come out for an important and support our community, our cause of funding small schools. That is the main goal here. My name is Gloria White, in case some of you do not know me. I will be leading you through our program. I wear a few hats around here at HCS. I am co-president of our teachers union. I am a teacher. I coach, and I'm a tutor, and I kind of do whatever else they kind of need me to do. This is my 31st year teaching here. There are others in the audience who have taught a lot longer than me, so I appreciate that, but I have lived in this community for a long time. My husband was born in this and raised in this community. He went to school in this town. His family did. We raised our 5 children here in this community. I now have grandchildren going to this school, this great rural school. Our rural school is enough, and so are all the other rural schools in and around us. We are here to rally and to send a message to fund our future instead of reducing our aid. We have a number of speakers here tonight that are willing to speak to us about the cause, and I am the lucky one to be able to introduce them all to you. I would personally like to thank, and this is something that's really close to my heart, all of the people who have worked so hard to get this rally possible, to get it ready. There's a lot of work that goes into something like this. When our superintendent first spoke to us, HTA group, about the proposed New York State executive budget that would slash $400 million in school aid to our rural schools, and we, as a district, could lose $1.2 million, we all know that we had to do something. You can't just talk about it. I'm extremely proud of the group of people who have worked so hard for many weeks to arrange for the various speakers that we have for you tonight. And so without further ado, I would like to introduce to you our very first speaker. So Mrs. Lori Asquith is the superintendent here at HCS. It is her first year here with us, and we are already seeing and feeling the effects of a good superintendent. She is putting forward effort and listens, and we are very glad to have her. Please welcome Mrs. Lori Asquith.
Before I begin, first of all, I want to take a moment to thank the HTA for making this happen. And I also want to thank the student body. Can I have all of my students raise their hand this evening? I'm too short to stand back there. One of my biggest movements in this work is to have student voice and agency. That is why we exist. And when I found out that we were having our budget cut, when the state aid runs came out, I actually thought it was a typo. And then I was like, maybe my glasses are not on quite correctly. I think I need to look at this number again. And in fact, that number was a $1.2 million cut from what we were going to get last year, well, from what we had this year. Immediately, all of the superintendents around the region started calling, started emailing. We were in a frenzy. And the greatest hit in Delaware County were the 2 smallest schools, Hancock and Franklin. And I couldn't figure out the rhyme or reason behind that, because over 80% of the schools in New York are rural. So how could it be that the greatest asset that we have, our future, sitting here tonight, was going to be the downfall of this budget? They were going to have the greatest cut of all, and that was opportunity. So immediately, as soon as that happened, I reached out to the board, I reached out to the HTA, and said, we have to move. We have to do something. So I'm going to stand up here tonight and give you just a little bit of a historical context. Across the state, they have a provision called Hold Harmless. It's been around for over 50 years. Hold Harmless basically protected small schools like us, most schools, from getting less aid than we did the previous year. So we had something that we could put into the budget every year that we could count on, some sort of stability from year to year. Now, everybody knows that budgets, when it comes to the state, are variable. And schools know that probably more than most. But that was the one thing that was a guarantee for us. So the cut to the provision of hold harmless was desperate, was devastating to this entire district and everybody else. The other piece was the formula. So about 20 years ago, they came up with the school formula. At that time, it worked. 20 years ago was a long time ago. I had a 3-year-old, and you were a twinkle in my eye, little one. But we know that things change. Our society has changed tremendously. We have so many more needs, so many different things. We all feel it. I'm a superintendent, but I'm also a wife, and I'm a community member, and I'm a mom. We all feel it. So this formula that we've been using doesn't work, and it specifically doesn't work for us. We all know that we have some amazing people that have property in this community. Somebody give me a name. One name. Yeah. Give me another one. Russell Bass. All right, we have a lot of folks that come up from the city. I'm pretty sure Donald Trump Jr., correct? Doesn't he have a property up here somewhere? Okay, so here's what happens according to the formula. And then I'll stop boring you and we'll move on to the really good stuff and we'll start some crazy chanting. Okay. When people buy property here, it's great. It's wonderful for us. They come up from the city, they buy multi-million-dollar homes. Everybody's like, yes, my property value just skyrocketed. We love it. Ah. They also fill out, and we collect school tax from them, which everybody's like, we collect the school tax. I mean, that should offset it. It doesn't. Because not only do they take the property tax, the property into the formula, they take in their income to the formula. So if they write on there, well, I travel all over the place. I got a place in Hancock. I make X million dollars. Their $1 million just went into this entire community's formula for what we make. They have the average gross salary for this community at $150,000. Yep. We all know that's wrong. But that's how they created the formula, which creates a deficit for us. Because they went, oh, Hancock? Yeah, they're good. They don't need the money. The other thing that devastated our budget was we have declining enrollment. Declining enrollment is across New York State. And my shot across the bow to that was this. I've got 9 kids in a room, and you've got 19. I still have to have a teacher in that room of 9. My 9 deserve the same great teacher. My 9 deserve the same great literacy specialist. My 9 still deserve sports. My 9 still deserve music. My 9 still deserve band. So everything that we have to. My students, you are enough. 9 or 19. It doesn't matter how big or small we are. You deserve everything that everybody else across this state gets.
We are enough!
You are enough. I lost my MC.
I'm right here.
Gloria.
You never know where I'm going to be. But you know what? I can't go back there. One bad thing, I'm getting old in my eyes. I gotta have the light. I gotta come to the light. Okay. We want to hear you and hollering. We want to get excited. We need people to hear your voices. We are here for you. You know, like I've done this, been here, done that. A lot of your parents been here, done that. We're fighting for what our kids' future. We don't have a future. They are our future. I need them. Our next speaker does not really need an introduction, but she is our grade 7 and 8 social studies teacher. She has been with our district, I don't know how many years, a number? 25th. She is an alumni of Hancock, and she is going to speak on behalf of our alumni. So please welcome Kara Nyberg.
So, just saying if you want to get in on the action. Good evening, Hancock community, students, staff, alumni, retirees, fellow districts. We have had some fellow districts come tonight. Distinguished guests and speakers, forgive me for not greeting you as the Wildcat Nation, but I just couldn't bring myself to do that. First, I'd like to thank you all for coming tonight. As introduced, my name is Kara Nyberg, and yes, I teach and coach here. However, tonight I'm going to speak as an alumnus, which I felt a little inadequate in my English because I thought it was alumnist, but it's alumnus. While many of the kids and their parents who are former students know that I graduated from here, class of '88, whoop whoop. Many of you may not know that both my younger sisters and pretty much all my local cousins graduated from here as well. Heck, one of my cousins even taught earth science here. Few of you may remember that our father passed away very suddenly halfway through my senior year. Despite this loss, my mother managed, along with this school, family, community, and the grace of God, to push us to successfully graduate and then later earn college degrees. 2 of us went on to teach, me here and my sister Ingrid in Susquehanna, another small rural district. 2 of us also built successful careers in the military, in addition to our civilian careers. My other sister, Erica, is a sergeant major and works for the Department of Defense down at Fort Indian Town Gap. So Hancock School was not the only block in our foundation, but in my case, when I was being a bonehead in those last 6 months of my senior year, it was Nick DeLucia who pulled me aside and nicely told me to get my head out of my butt so that I didn't blow graduation, which he doesn't remember that. So, might a teacher in a bigger district have done that for a kid? Probably. That is, if in that district they weren't too big to know my name or know my situation. In our district, and I am sure in many of the other small rural districts that are being targeted, the school is the center of the community. Over 50 alumni are on staff here, and another dozen or so sub here. 3 work in the after-school program. 1 works here at this location for BT BOCES. And I was very happy to see all the retirees tonight. Thank you for and a number of those retirees also are alumni. Oh, yeah. Checking my grammar again. So I can't speak for all the alumni, but much of the appeal to work here is to give back. Many of the businesses and organizations that so generously donated door prizes tonight are those owned by alumni or parents of students. We are also blessed with many other talented staff members who discovered Hancock and were moved to work in this special place. We come here tonight to show solidarity and support for the idea that we are enough. Are we perfect? No, just ask Facebook. But we are enough to deserve an equal seat at the table. We are enough to deserve a formula that is fair and accurate. We may be enough to survive the lost revenue, but our kids are more than enough to deserve not to have to face cuts in programming and staff. Lost funding equals lost opportunities. In closing, thank you again for coming tonight to support not just our school, but all small schools that provide more than a diploma at the end of 4 years. This is not a partisan issue. This is a David versus Goliath issue. And to partially quote a Toby Keith song, those small dogs will bite when you rattle their cage. Stay tuned for developments, and again, thank you all for your support. Good night for now.
Thank you, Ms. Nyberg. Up next to speak is a young man who is a member of the senior class here at HCS. He is involved in several sports programs, a lot of other things here in school. I know the arts program. He's very good at golf. Good job, Coach. And I might add, a very responsible, great young man. Great young man. I want to introduce and please help me welcome Logan Westbrook.
All right, gotta bear with me. Public speaking is not my strength, so I thank you, Miss White. Probably my favorite coach. Anyways, sorry to all my past coaches. Anyways, there's been a lot that I've learned in my 17 years on this earth, but one thing that I've learned from my father very recently is one that can be applied here. If you want something, don't beat around the bush and be upfront. With this being said, I'm going to use my time at this podium to be honest and speak for each individual that is here tonight, as well as the hundreds of other schools and their students, along with staff in New York State, that will be heavily affected by the passing of this bill. To get this out of the way, I do not love school. When I say this, I do not mean the Hancock School District. What I mean is, I do not like reading, writing, doing math, taking tests, or quizzes. I am not a straight-A student. I am not every teacher's favorite. I do not hand every assignment in on time, let alone do them in the first place.
But you are my favorite.
If you want to ask about me doing assignments, ask Miss Patty Brooks. This does not make me any less than any other person that has been or is currently a student in any high school. Because what we are as a whole are all members of the next generation of people that have been working to graduate from high school to become a member of society. Whether the plans are to join the workforce, attend college, go to trade school, create a business, or in my case, join the military. All of us that have stepped foot in this building to learn and receive education all deserve one thing, and that is the opportunity to do so. I'm not just talking about the 4 core subjects such as math, ELA, social studies, and science. I am also talking about physical education, baking and cooking, the arts such as band, chorus, painting, ceramics, etc., as well as the opportunity to participate in high school sports, which most schools in this area are known for. When it comes to small towns like this where there is not much to do outside of school, besides hang out in the lobby of McDonald's, most people find activities within school to learn in and out. Sports, how to play an instrument, sing, cook and bake, building furniture, and still learning about math, English, science, and social studies. These are all things that we offer within this district, and many of which have shaped and molded people's life choices because the love they have found within these activities have affected them so deeply They want to do these things for the rest of their lives. And the fact that they have learned them in this building is also a special moment for said person. Let's also talk about the faculty and staff that work here. The teachers that have worked their entire lives to get where they are now, teaching their passion to the younger generations in hopes to make an impact on them as well as to guide them through the adolescent years so they can succeed in their life goals, just like they did. When graduating college and finally being hired at a school to teach a subject they love, they were in our shoes once. Whether it was 10, 20, 30, 40, or even 50 years ago, they all were once students. Even the people that this message is going to, you were once students. So you should understand the importance of having these opportunities within these districts. Whenever I tell an older person these words, I hate school, I always get the same answer. You will miss it when you're done with it. And I can say this is already true for me as a senior who was on the final 14-week stretch of getting my diploma and never stepping foot in this building as a student again. From the conversations I've had with my brother, who graduated from Hancock in 2022, as well as my many other friends from past graduating classes, they tell you that you will miss the memories of coming to school every day and doing the things you enjoy and making memories with your friends. With this being said, why in the world would you take away the money and funding that will be able to provide us as the students, the memories, the classes, the activities, and the teachers that will leave an impact on us all? You will take away jobs from teachers, coaches, faculty, and staff. You will take the joy of parents watching their children come home to them and telling them about the fun things they did at school, and that they can't wait to go back tomorrow to do it all again. And speaking from what my parents have told me, they love watching not just me, but my teammates play the sports we do. And I'm sure that every parent that has a child that is a student athlete can also relate to. These are all things that will be ripped, not from this district, but from hundreds of others within the state of New York. So please think long and hard about the choice you want to make, because it's not just money you are taking away from these districts. You are taking jobs, memories, happiness, and education from kids that are so desperately fighting to save your schools. Especially ours, where everyone knows everyone, people bond over sports, music, and the arts. These things matter, not to just the people in this auditorium, but the people in all of New York State.
Okay, so my next speaker is Kiara Warman. Very talented young ladies, also a member of our senior class, and so into the theater and arts. Please welcome Kiara Warman.
All right, don't get me wrong, I love performing, but this is a little scary. Hello everyone, my name is Kiara Wormuth, and I'd like to preface this with, I'm one of the Wormuths and Jacobs, so we have a very big family around town, around everywhere. I'm probably related to half of you. And so we all pretty much grew up in Hancock, and this community, I've developed a lot more family members than just who I'm related to. So this is on behalf of everyone. So I'm a senior and I have attended Hancock Central School my whole life. I've always had very good grades and stayed very involved in school. However, if it was not for the opportunities the school gives, I would not have found my calling and I'd still be very lost. In 6th grade, I was in my very first musical here on this very stage. The school was putting on Annie and invited us to try out. I ended up casted as Annie, and ever since I've wanted to go into musical theater. Now I'm about to attend college for exactly that. I do not know where I'd be if it hadn't been for chorus, chamber choir, band, and the plays here. During COVID, my family went through some hardships that still affect me.
I get through it by putting myself in music and acting. I have a very hard time expressing myself by talking, but through singing, I can show you every emotion I have ever had. But that year, I did not have this school and its opportunities. That year was easily the worst year of my life, and I became depressed and riddled with anxiety because I didn't have that outlet. I did not have the things that got me through other tough times in my life. Thankfully, we were able to come back to school, and I had my outlets again. I cannot have imagined permanently not having them. Not everyone goes to school for academics. Yes, I have good grades, but I truly want to focus on performing arts, which thankfully I am able to do here. In the senior class alone, there are at least 3 students who are pursuing their dreams in the arts after high school. The arts are so important to the world. Just as important, if not more important, than some of our core classes. Now, don't get me wrong, I understand needing math in life, trust me. I am, in fact, the only student taking calculus this year. However, I want you to think for just a moment. When was the last time you had to use the Pythagorean theorem in everyday life? Or what about what I'm currently learning about? Taking the derivative of the inverse of a trigonomic function. Now, think of the last time you heard someone sing, heard a drum, saw a piece of artwork, or watched someone act. You hear and see these things all of the time and don't even realize the importance of them. Imagine a life without rhythmic sound, colors, textures, and entertainment. That is a pretty boring life, I'd say. The arts are what make the world go around, and it gives people imagination and creativity. It is so important to give these kids imagination because it gives them hope. I think about how good these opportunities I had were to me, and how I don't know where I'd be without them. What about the kids that need it and are going to be here next year? We're all wearing shirts that say we are enough. And the thing is, me and my peers were enough to have those opportunities. Why are the younger generation not? You don't know what any of these kids go through, but many use art, music, theater, and sports as an outlet for life. It's like a coping mechanism. You see studies on how anxiety, depression, and other mental disorders are the highest they have ever been in teenagers. And you're now trying to take away activities that help these kids. So instead of helping the problem, you become the problem. Not to mention the teachers you'd be causing to lose their jobs. 3 years ago, Mr. Massaro was hired at this school as our band teacher. In bigger schools, you are merely a number to teachers, which isn't their fault, but due to it being a big school, teachers don't have the ability to make personal connections with students. However, in rural communities, teachers are able to form bonds with their students and truly care about their lives. These teachers want the students to succeed, not only in their class, but also in life. Mr. Massaro is just one example of these really good teachers. One who creates a safe and inviting space for students to go when they need help. We preach about how if something is going on, students need to be able to go to an adult they trust. Well, who does a student go to if they don't have an adult to trust? To many of us, Mr. Massaro became an adult we trust. Now the school could lose him because of the budget cuts. So not only will you be taking away outlets, but also amazing teachers who care about the youth. He's just one example of the incredible teachers across the state in danger of losing their jobs. In conclusion, cutting the budget hurts the kids, teachers, schools, and even community. Like Hancock, most rural communities are centered around the school in them. From sports games to concerts, the community supports the school through everything. When cutting the budget, you cut many opportunities and programs for students, which could cause many families to move out of the community for better schooling for their kids. This then hurts the community, and if enough family leaves, then what's left of it? For me, my family has been centered in Hancock for generations on both my mom and dad's side. Losing the school, or even extremely hurting the school, is detrimental to the community. So please look at every student, because every student in America is not just enough, more than enough to have these opportunities.
Awesome job. We are enough. We are enough. We You guys truly are enough. And so, with our next speaker, we have an employee and a parent who will talk to us about his involvement in our district. He is currently a substitute teacher here who is retired from another district, and his children attended here also at HCS. Please welcome John Gonzalez.
I was up in Sayre waiting for an appointment this afternoon. I'm sitting there waiting and waiting. I'm trying to think of how to focus my comments and what to say. And the two words that came to me, and I wrote them down in my hand so I wouldn't forget them, is very lucky. And I consider myself very lucky to be here tonight with you here, and very lucky to be associated with the school district. It's an honor. As Mrs. White said, our two children graduated from Hancock School, and I think about that every time I walk past their pictures up on the 3rd floor. There's a lot of history in this school, and as a parent, it's just hard to walk down that hallway and not look at those photos. And you think about all the people who came through the school district. I'm also very lucky to be on the board of the Hancock Community Education Foundation, which is a very unique group that supports students from preschool all the way past graduation. And it's a very special organization, and it's a great honor to be associated with them. And after I retired from Sullivan West in June of 2022, they asked me to be on the board, and I was talking to them. I said, what could I do here in town? They said, why don't you substitute teach? And it's been absolutely wonderful. Since I've been subbing, I've been in pretty much every corner of the high school and the elementary school, from the bottom of the building up to the 3rd floor. And I have to say, I'm just so impressed with the adults and the students here in the school. I'm in awe a lot of times. Really. I go around town, and I'm not from around here, and I worked at Sullivan West, which is half hour from here, and I don't know a lot of people. And parents, your sons and daughters will come up to me, and they're just so great. It's a real gift to have that here in town. That kind of feeling that people know you, and that's a special thing about Hancock. So I feel that's a gift. When I started my career, I started in Narrowsburg before the 3-school merger. And we merged 25 years ago this year, and that's the way it was in Narrowsburg. We'd be on the street, you'd see students. Narrowsburg shared sports with other schools, like our students would go play football in Callicoon, just like Hancock does with Pause. And we worked real hard to keep Narrowsburg going, and we merged. We did what the state wanted us to do. The state wanted us to merge. They gave us all this incentive aid. And the crazy thing is, Sullivan West is getting slammed too, right next door to us. They're getting demolished by this proposed budget. And we are too. And you look all across New York State, it's from one end of the state to the other. Districts are just getting hammered. And it just doesn't make sense on many levels. There's so much division in this country. The last thing we need to do is have and have-nots for our children, It's been really great, and it's an honor to be in this beautiful building, the people who keep this looking the way it is. I mean, it's a wonderful school district. Mrs. White, would you like me to introduce our next speaker, or do you want to do it?
Sure, you can.
Okay. Our next speaker, Matt Haynes, came here from past Grahamsville, which is on the other side of Sullivan County. I've met Matt a couple times. He's a teacher at Tri-Valley Central School. He's the president of the Tri-Valley Teachers Association, and he's also on the board of directors of New York State United Teachers, the statewide union, which is a big deal. NYSET, we're very lucky to have in the state fighting on behalf of public education. And I told Matt about the rally, and he said, I will be there. And he worked all day in the classroom. So Matt's going to say just a few words, and again, those are the kind of people that we have working on our behalf, the people organized tonight. And man, if you could come up, I'd appreciate it.
Good evening, everyone. I have to tell you what an honor it is to be here tonight. I really didn't know what to expect when John asked me to come, but I have to tell you, I feel so at home tonight, so thank you for such a warm welcome. So I'm a proud graduate from Afton Central School, which is not too far from here, a rural small school. I currently teach at Tri-Valley Central School in Sullivan County, where I am the president of the Tri-Valley Teachers Association. We are a small, rural school, pre-K through 12 building. So I understand as much as each and every one of you do, how incredibly important our small schools are. Our schools are the hub of our community. And our school and our community, we're more than just a place of education. We're families. Do you all consider yourself family? So when we talk about these budget cuts, I know you all understand how horrible it would be for your family. I understand how horrible it would be for your family. We had hundreds of teachers in Albany just this week on Tuesday talking to legislators about how horrible these cuts will be for our families. And you know what? Our governor understands as well. But what that tells me, she doesn't really care about your family. As far as my union work, I have a very simple motto I try to live by. An injury to one of us is an injury to all of us. And I take that same stance when it comes to our public schools. An injury to any single one of our schools in this state, including Hancock, is an injury to every single one of us. My school is, quote unquote, one of the lucky ones because we're only losing 1.6% of our budget. But I'm here tonight to stand in solidarity with each and every one of you, to let you know I'm behind you, and to let you know I'll do anything in my power to help out Hancock. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay. Up next, we have a performance from our band. So you want
Good evening. My name is Michael Massaro, and I'm the band teacher here at Hancock. Over the few years that I've been here, I've had the privilege of being able to work with these young musicians on stage as well as grades 5 through 8. The students on this stage, as well as the ones not here tonight, they deserve a right to music education. Music is something that every person in this room can relate to in some way, whether it's in the radio, Spotify, commercials, TV, or even that fun little tune that plays when the washing machine runs. We all have music in our lives. And in many of those that were part of something such as band or chorus, they gain a deeper understanding and appreciation that they will then carry for the rest of their lives, just like everyone in this room here tonight. I also think that it's very important for us all to remember that no matter how small, music has the power to create big memories, grand experiences, and really deep connections. The piece of music that we are going to be performing tonight is called Lincolnshire Posy by Percy Granger. The piece tells the story of a young sailor returning to the love of his life after many, many years at sea. But he becomes heartbroken when she does not recognize him anymore. However, when he brings her a token of his love, she realizes that it is him and falls in love again. I think we can all take from this story an understanding that time can make us forget how important something can be, and that a gentle reminder can also help us remember that music, however you experience it, is important to keep in us. Thank you all for your time, and please enjoy Lincolnshire Posy, played by the high school.
Arts Department. Nice job. I would now like to introduce to you a parent from our district. Vicki has a son who graduated from Hancock a couple years ago. Also very involved in all kinds of sports, golf included. She also still has a son in school. I'd like you to please, two, my bad. That's because they're not up to my level yet. So, welcome to Vicki Bogart.
It's so great to see so many people out tonight to support our kids. As Gloria said, I'm a parent. Actually, I didn't grow up here. I moved here 14 years ago, and my son Nick started first grade. And we've chosen to stay here. We love it here. He grew up here, and I have two boys in elementary school. William, who's here with me, who's in third grade. And Jacob's in first grade. And my son Nick, who graduated 2 years ago, had lots of opportunities. I could go on and on. Golf, sports are important to him. Golf, basketball, state champion, baseball team. He had, college courses. I could go on and on. We all know the opportunities here that we can't lose. I expected my two youngest kids to have the same opportunities that he had, and actually, I expected more. That's why I ran for school board, because I knew that there's more that we can offer these kids. And as a new school board member, we started working on those things with Lori, a brand new superintendent, and then, as Lori explained, we got these budget runs, and that kind of stopped, and we're still working on that, but the main focus has been the budget cuts. And how do we, the big question, how do we deal with this proposed budget and not impact kids? And it's pretty much impossible. I don't know if everybody knows this, but last year was a historic year for education in New York State. The governor, for the first time since the Foundation Aid was put in place, she fully funded education. This was not expected this year. I think people thought that it would be similar to last year. It would be fully funded again, and everything would, we would just move on. But instead of moving to the next logical step, which the regions and others were asking for, which is to look at this outdated formula, which makes no sense, she decided to propose a budget that would devastate our schools. I've been trying to figure out why, and there's really no, in my opinion, I can't come up with a good reason why. It just makes no sense at all to me. Why should we go from this historic, fully funding school to devastating rural schools? I read an interview last week in the New York Times, and her budget director, Blake Washington, said that she presented this disruptive budget to start a conversation. She didn't need to start this, to cause chaos and propose this budget that she knew would devastate rural schools to start a conversation. Because people were already asking for years to start this conversation. The formula makes no sense, and people have been asking for it to be looked at. She needs to provide funding for it to be looked at. So it absolutely makes no sense. And if she truly is aware of the financial challenges of the rural districts, like Blake Washington also said she is, she would know that causing this chaos does not help any of our districts. It hurts them. Instead of focusing, like I said, on the things that would benefit our kids and changes that we need to make here, we stop and we're focusing on how we deal with this budget. Our kids are worried, our teachers are worried, we're all worried about what this means for us and what the future holds. We're working on multiple budgets. Teachers and staff are wondering how this will impact them. And students are wondering why the governor believes that wages are less than the peers at larger schools. It's stressful to say the least. We're all feeling the stress. I do want to say that I do feel that there is hope. And it's because of all the people and the organizations, some of which you see here, and the legislators, that are advocating for our kids. We have the support of our assemblymen and our senators, and we will see next week, it's supposed to be next week, where they're going to present their one-house budgets. to the governor. And as you're sitting here, because I know I was wondering myself, what can I do? You're all here, and that's great. We appreciate it. We appreciate the support. But there are other things you can do, and you may not think it makes a difference, but it does. The legislators are listening to us. Please keep sending emails and calling our legislators and the governor over the next few weeks, because they will be negotiating, and we will, over the next few weeks after they put out their one budget, they'll be negotiating the final budget with our governor, so now is not the time to stop. We have a few more weeks, hopefully around April 1st, until the budget is done. Thank you for being here and supporting our school and other rural schools like it. We all need to stand together to show the governor that we are enough.
Thank you, Vicki. Next up, we have a dynamic duo of our own Student Council co-presidents, Loretta Simmons, Lola White. They've both been members of Student Council since 5th grade. And did I mention that Lola is my granddaughter? My oldest granddaughter? I can't be that old. Okay. Yeah, they all say that. Welcome. Thanks.
Okay. Hello, my name is Loretta Simmons.
And my name is Lola White. We are Student Council co-presidents. Today we are here on behalf of the Student Council, which is our body of government for our school. We were voted in by our peers and classmates to be leaders of our student body. As leaders, it is our job to protect and care for our students and the incredible opportunities we have here at Hancock Central School.
As a student government, we meet up once a month to discuss how things are going in our school. We collaborate to fix anything that may be causing a problem in the school, and we also come up with activities that our students can participate in that will be memorable when thinking back on their school experiences. Just like us, our state government will need to talk about the well-being of the citizens of New York State. As leaders and speakers of the Hancock Student Council, we want to inform our community and local legislators that the budget cut will negatively impact the well-being of our students, faculty, and community members.
Students have many opportunities here at Hancock that not all schools have access to. As freshmen, students from Preston Area School have the option to transfer into either Wayne Highlands School District or come here to Hancock Central. While making this decision, one opportunity that stands out among most is the option to participate in our DCMO BOCES program. But for those of you that do not know what that is, it is a program offered to our juniors and seniors here at Hancock and the neighboring schools in our county. This program allows students to gain entry-level skills in a trade of their choice. This includes anything from welding, carpentry, cosmetology, nursing, computer tech, auto body, etc. After graduating from the BOCES program, students are certified in their trade and can immediately enter the workforce. One of our very own seniors is graduating from early education program at BOCES with enough experience to have been offered a head position at a nearby daycare.
Another big opportunity that Hancock would lose if the proposed budget was cut would be our sports program. As a small school, we already have limited student athletes. Most of them are driven academically through the sport or sports they play. When athletes are in season, they have better attendance and are better motivated to prioritize their grades. Because we are so small, the athletes have the opportunities to have more one-on-one time and form better relationships with coaches and teammates, along with forming long-lasting memories that will last, long-lasting memories of their high school career. For example, our own baseball and softball teams have won multiple New York State championship titles. Hancock Central graduate Lacey Drake was offered an NCAA Division I Women's Basketball Scholarship, where she currently competes at the University University of Maryland, Baltimore County.
Along with cutting the BOCES and sports programs, we would also have to cut the majority of our arts programs. This includes school plays, band, chorus, chamber choir, and many different art classes. This is important for our students to help express themselves. It is also a good outlet for kids that aren't athletes. We have students in our senior class this year going to college for musical theater, art, music production, and auto technology. This wouldn't be possible without the access to these classes and the teachers that teach them.
The next and last thing we would like to mention is our academic opportunities here at Hancock. Throughout high school, we are offered a number of college courses, whether it is taught here in person, via Zoom, or through distance learning programs. Because we are a small school, we have better student-to-teacher ratio. This means students are able to form more meaningful relationships with classmates and teachers. It is also easier for students to ask questions and receive help. A former Hancock graduate went to college with 33 credits and was able to save a lot of time and money because she took advantage of this opportunity. Many other students have taken these opportunities and are very grateful they did.
In conclusion, we, as co-presidents of the Student Council, are here to protect and fight for the well-being of our students. As we explained, we have incredible opportunities at Hancock that we won't have if the proposed budget was cut. Students would not be able to attend our BOCES programs. We would lose most of our sport programs, art programs, and our academic opportunities. These are big things that will define who and what our students will become. Lastly, we would like to thank all of our teachers that put this together and made it possible for all of us to be here today. The teachers have been working and fighting extremely hard for us and our future here at Hancock Central School, and they deserve a big thank you and a round of applause. We would also like to thank all of you that came here today to support us and our future. We are not.
Oh, that's so great. Isn't it just great to hear our kids speak and to hear our kids thankful for what they're getting? I, like Miss Nyberg, get emotional with this stuff, so I can't say too much. So, but we really do love our students, and we do, like, they are the best. They are the best, and you are the best. And we're the best because we have a great Board of Ed, which brings me to the next speaker. Our Board of Education has been working to help provide us with some guidance, and tonight we have one of our board members, who is also the president, here with us to speak to all of you. He also has kids in our building, and his wife is an alumni, and we're happy to have Cliff Johnson.
For those that don't know me, I'm Cliff Johnson, current president here at Hancock. I want to thank everybody for coming tonight to support our kids and to support our school. The amount of community support in this district is second to none. Hopefully tonight, the governor will hear our message. Maybe she'll hear some more. Without cutting funding, school funding in small rural state districts will not only hurt children and employees, but will devastate our communities. The amount of undeserved stress on our children and our staff is totally unnecessary. It is stress that should be used for math tests or prom planning, for upcoming musicals, or for college planning. It breaks my heart when I have a middle school student ask me if they're going to have an opportunity to play varsity sports. Central School District didn't ask for this. We didn't ask for the extra budget work or the time consumed running multiple budgets. The stress on our children and staff. Unfortunately, this proposed executive budget is placing all these stresses directly on our children. Stresses that should be spent on education. I thank our elected officials on all government levels. What I've seen and heard, they're all supporting us and have our back. And for our mission for the children and for the future. Our message to the governor tonight is that we need to save the hold harmless provision for Hancock and for Delaware County. I'd also like to thank the HTA for bringing us all together tonight and leading the charge for a better future. We're in the midst of doing some great things here in Hancock. Regardless of the budget, we'll overcome this challenge and we'll all be stronger for it, as shown here tonight by the support. We are enough. Thank you.
We are enough. We are enough. We are enough. Okay, so our next speaker is an assemblyman. Our assemblyman, Brian Maurer, could not be here himself because he is away on a military duty, but we are happy to have the legislative director for Brian. Please welcome and help me welcome Eamon McLaughlin. I probably butchered that name. I knew I was going to. Sorry. Thank you for being here.
I have a very unique name. I'm used to being with So, good evening, everyone. My name is Eamon McCullough. I'm the legislative director for Assemblyman Brian Marr. And unfortunately, he could not be here tonight as he's serving us in the Navy. He's in a mandatory training in Virginia with SEAL Team 18. I would like to take a moment to thank all of the active service members and veterans here today for their sacrifice and service. I also want to commend your superintendent for the single best explanation on the school budget formula I've ever heard. I am so excited to be here with you all today in support of properly funding our schools in this year's state budget. Our position is clear. We must make whole any foundation aid cuts and ensure that there's a 3% increase in foundation. You're losing $1.27 million, and that's just what you're not getting from last year. At least not what the government doesn't want to give you. But if we don't also increase it by 3%, you're going to be effectively getting a cut anyway due to inflation. So, the Assemblyman and his Republican colleagues want to give you guys an extra $1.43 million. Now, I'm not going to get into what the governor would rather spend that money on. I'm not here to be a politician. Yeah, I'm sure you do. But I'll leave it at it's not more important than our children's education. So let me assure you that myself and the Assemblyman have been fighting every day for the past however many weeks, 6 weeks I think it is, since the governor released her budget. And, we've been fighting every day alongside our colleagues on both sides of the aisle to restore this funding. We are not allowing the governor to play games and play politics when it comes to the education of the children of this state. If she wants to find something to cut in her $230+ billion budget, she can find something else. Nothing is more important to to the future of this state than our children. And we will not sit by while the governor tries to make the jobs of our educators even harder, or tries to shift that financial burden onto you more so than it already is. God knows your property taxes are too high as it is. Some of you wants you to know that there's something you can do to help him advocate when he's talking to his colleagues in the Assembly and the Senate, and when he's talking to the governor. We have a petition on our website and social media, and actually on that table right outside the door, where you can sign and share with your friends and your neighbors. The more signatures we have, the better. It's just really easy QR code that takes you to Google Doc. Super easy. 4 questions. But the more signatures we have, the better, because it tells the governor and the leadership that this is what's important. It's important for us to be here today, letting the governor know where we stand, but there's more work to be done over the next several weeks as we finalize our budget, and we could really use your help. I want to thank you all for coming out today and letting me speak to you, and I'll finish with this. Our children are too important to play politics with. We are enough. Thank you.
And the next speaker is, oh, no, Mrs. White. She can get going. I'll try not to. So I want to start by saying that I am the last speaker for the night, and I have been told that I have only about 5 minutes. So I will try my best, but no promises. I have been a teacher here at HCS for about 31 years. I did not go to school here. I grew up and in a small rural school in Calicoon. Mr. Ogazala talked about that a little bit. Until my junior year. My junior year in high school, that I was forced to transfer to a Pennsylvania school because I was a Pennsylvania resident. I felt as if I was only a number there. It was not a small rural school. I was a junior and so had not gone there all my life and was not part of their community. Hancock and other small rural schools are not like that. A rural school allows for students to be heard and cared for and cared about. In my 31 years here, I can say that I've known most of the students pretty well. At this point in my career, I know many of my parents, as well as my students' parents. So I have a little favor to ask right now. Can I have everyone or anyone in the audience in this room to please stand up if I have had you in my classroom, on a sports team, in a study hall, in a T-ball, or in a Little League game, or as a class advisor. Please turn around and look. Maybe I know you because I had your child. Please take a look around the room. I knew you, I know you, and you know me. This is typical of a rural school. I didn't do that to draw attention to myself, but that's true of most of the people in this community. If you are a coach, you probably coach T-ball, and then Little League, and then you get maybe into the JV or varsity, or you help. You are part of this community. You are the community. You and your children are our future. I am not the special person here. I am just a typical teacher in a rural school where you know and you know your kids. And I am here to say that every single one of you is enough. Thank you, that was great. Our teachers have organized this rally to convey this message to those people creating the budgets. Many and most of your teachers are just like me in knowing you all. They may not have as many of you yet, but that's because I'm older than them. I am a co-president of our teachers union, and I have been for many years. I don't really know how many years. We, the teachers, love our kids. That's why we're here. We want them and you, students, to have the same opportunities, the same experiences, the same chances to try new things that you might never be able to do when you leave. Our kids in rural schools should be funded in a manner that allows our schools to operate in the same capacity as it has been in the past. We want our students to be able to play sports, to go on field trips, to have an arts program, to be in the chorus or a play. We all live here. We have kids that go to school here. We teach and coach Little League sports in the community. I don't think there's too many sports that I did not coach. Field hockey, that was probably a no-no for me. In a small rural community, the students are with the same peers every year of their school life. They are like family. I know that we had a couple of people say and talk about the family. Your kids are family to each other. They are a part of your culture. I talk a lot about culture in social studies classes, and your culture is each other. I'm very passionate about fighting for the funding for those kids, for your kids. These students deserve and need to be successful in society, to be well-rounded individuals, to become self-sufficient. We all need to do our part by letting our representatives know in the state legislature and know that they need to fund us, not cut our funding, for the future of our community, for the future of our kids and your kids and your kids. But not just here. We need to help Franklin, and we need to be here for Franklin, and we need to be there for Eldred and all of those other schools that are asking for that funding also. It's not a rally for just us. It's a rally for rural schools, rural communities. Do you know how many times I had to practice that? Rural. But seriously, especially our HCS and our Franklin neighbors, who seem to be the hardest hit with this one budget cut, and above that $1 million proposed cut, which is crazy. Our hope as a union is that our voices are heard loud and clear, and that years down the road, our kids will tell their kids about the power of you working together for a cause. Because we
slideshow. We are incredibly thankful for Mr. Chance Charles who put this together for us. It is a compilation of our students pre-K through 12th grade voicing some of their thoughts about these proposed budget cuts. It's misleading that it says 22 minutes over in the corner. The pictures stop at about 8 minutes, so don't be too alarmed.
Our names are Harper and Mac. We are students at Hancock Central School. We are both involved in school plays and would be very upset we could no longer do drama because of the budget cut. The plays are something we look forward to and make us love our school. Just because doesn't mean we don't matter. Please help us in fighting these budget cuts. Follow your government representatives to support our small school. We are your best.
Sports at our school aren't just about competition, but also character building and teamwork. Losing them would mean losing valuable life lessons and experiences that shape us into well-rounded individuals. It would also mean that you are saying our hard work isn't worth the money.
I'm Lily. I would be very upset if others and my class continues and isn't able to have field trips, chorus, band, school plays, and sports. We are enough. Our teachers are important to us. They help us learn, grow, and move forward. If we have to cut some of our teachers, our education won't be as good as now. I am also involved in music programs and sports. We might not have this if we get the budget cut. We should not have to worry about the cuts.
I'm Corinne. I'm in 6th grade and I'm 11 years old. If this budget cut goes through, we could potentially lose sports. Sports are everything. We take them. I played softball and basketball with a passion for as long as I can remember. As a kid from a small town, sports are basically all we have. Here are enough from that. Don't take what we don't away from us. Just because they're a rule doesn't mean they're less. They're small, but we still matter. Here are enough.
I'm Kylan. And I'm Cooper. We want to grow up in an environment where we can play sports and have fun. We are young.
Hi, I'm AJ, and you're getting $1 million budget cut, and that will separate most of our sporting and education. We are not.
Hi, my name's Lee. I'm part of the football team in the Hancock High School band. I feel like if we get defunded, that would take away from those people that wouldn't get to do the fun things that I did. We are not.
I am Bailey. Hancock matters.
My name is Nick, and I believe we are more than enough.
I'm Chloe, and I don't want to lose my teacher. We are enough.
I'm Jeremiah.
And I'm Reverend.
And we are enough.
Hi, my name is Justin, and I am in 6th grade. We're getting cut $1.2 million from our school, and it'll basically take our school to a prison. Please help us. Our legislators have full control of this, so please make the right decision. We are enough.
My name is Wyatt. And my name is Lucas. And we are enough.
I'm Glenn. I'm Stevie. And we are enough. My name is Aubrey.
My name is Cherish.
And the budget cuts affect us emotionally and physically because the kids in the future won't be able to have the sports they always wanted to play. And we are enough.
Hello, my name is President, and I'm in 2nd grade. This budget cut goes through, I'll be sad for multiple reasons. One, it can crush dreams. Just imagine people who have talents and want to pursue. I'm one. I will miss baseball the most because I've been wanting to play
more thank you sent to the New York State government and the government who are giving us this budget cut. Why? Is it because we're small or and you don't care? We matter. I'm Riley and everybody matters. Hi, I'm Emma and we are Martin too.
Hi, my name is Marco, and I'm Landon, and we are enough.
I'm Lauren, I'm Olivia, I'm Josephine,
And we are enough.
we are Mar and Narva. We are enough. Fund small schools.
I'm Clark, and I'm Carter, and we are enough. I'm Cole. I'm Jason, and we are enough.
And I'm Lucy, and we are enough.
My name is Jack. I'm Evan, and we are enough.
Hi, I'm Justin, and we are enough.
I'm Randy. I'm Michael. And I'm Quinn, and we are enough.
Hi, I'm Haley. I'm 12 years old in the 6th grade. I wonder if this budget cut is only affecting the adults but the children. My baby sister Nancy, she just turned 2. The same things that I did at our school. Think about the future students. All three of our children who are looking forward to going to the big school one day and happy. We take away all of this money, none of that would happen. Same thing with sports. More than half of our students play this sport and love it. Whether it's volleyball, field hockey, baseball, basketball, or football, we all love it. If you take $1.2 million from our budget, nobody will have to dream of becoming a successful athlete come true. Sports are free, just like music lovers are at first too. Not only that our teachers lose their jobs, but we will also lose our equipment, even the instruments themselves. We will not only use all of our special activities, we will have our main subjects listed. Our teachers have a high chance of losing their jobs if we won't get with the education we strive for, which is extremely disappointing. This is only affecting our school, but some of our intellectual and developmental centers, specifically the art. They are also unfortunately their budget as well. Some of the people that go there live there or just go there for socializing. But either way, it doesn't fair that all of us are getting such an important thing taken away. This is why we need the politicians and sheriff and turn the town blue.
I'm Nick,
I'm Ethan.
and we are enough.
Hi, I'm Brandon, and we are enough.
And I'm Hannah and we are
I just wanted to follow up on some of the things that you heard this evening. If you're finding yourself now in the position where you would like to know what you can do to help fight this budget proposal, please notice that in your program, there's a QR code that will take you to our website, which our new fabulous librarian, Emily Williams, created for us. And there's a place on the website where it gives you the contact information for 5 of your local and state legislators. It gives you a script of what you could say in an email or if you called on the phone. And remember that you can call once as a parent and once as a taxpayer and once if you have a job here in the district. We really need to flood these legislators so that they understand that we are not going to be quiet about this, that we see what's happening, and that it's not okay.